They're only attacked when provoked, and here we are. We're attacking them. Who provoked who? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Kupo, your host, Sergeant Filthy McNasty.
And Kupo.
Kupo, do you have a mug for us? What you got? Show
Well,
us.
I got myself another canned coffee here. You know, those type of things that you can get out of those Japanese vending machines that they always have in the animes. This one here is an original quality coffee. To me, it's a little bit more bitter than I actually thought it'd be. I'm more of a sweet tooth person, but I'll still take it.
Hey, caffeine is caffeine, no matter how you get it. We were chatting on our last episode. We were chatting about Void Hunt V2 in terms of some of the excitement there. Let's start with some of the lore that's been rolled out. There was I made a funny video, right? Chatting about Rockbox. And them sort of as a, if you read the back of the info section on the Rockbot pet, you come to find out that they're sort of solitary type of bird, live in isolation, sort of up in the mountains. They do their thing. They're only attacked when provoked, and here we are. We're attacking them. Who provoked who? What came first, the chicken or the egg? We don't know, and I know Winston sort of joked about it as well, but we're sort of seeing some of this lore come into play, and now it's got us talking. Now it's got us thinking: are we the bad guys, Kupo?
It's really hard to say, but absolutely, there's something that actually has caused these Rockbox to stir up. And honestly, being that we're still within these void hunts, we've seen the images of the actual fighting ground, and what we noticed. We got some void shards within that nest there. Are these void shards the cause of their aggression? Is it messing with their mind? Anybody that's ever seen that Zootopia movie with the night howlers, sorry if I'm spoiling this for people, that kind of made some of the monsters, some of the animals in the series go a little bonkers. So maybe we're getting that out of these void shards. Maybe they were aggressive from the start. Maybe our guys see some void shards in a tree, like, let's go get those things. I think that these void shards are going to play a massive role with what we're looking forward to in the lore to come with DFK.
Wow, Kupo, you just blew my mind. Look, analyze the scene, right? You've got the nest, and you've got those void shards embedded in there. What are we there? We're there for the loot. We're there for the void shards, and we're doing them the favor. We're not attacking the rock box. We're trying to. Oh my god, you blew my mind, Kupo.
We're just trying to gently push them to the side with our fists in the sides of our swords is all.
Hey. Yeah.
If we break a couple legs along the way, so be it.
That's an ism for sure. No, that's an interesting perspective I had definitely not thought about. Brings into play the importance of lore, and seeing that come into play makes it interesting. The why would we? I thought we may have been good. Why would they? They're a peaceful. They don't attack unless provoked. Going back to that piece. Maybe you put two and two together. You mentioned void shards, and if you've not caught that interview with Winston, do catch it. It was probably one of my top favorite interviews I've done with as far as just the information we got and how generous Winston was with his time, and sort of how candid he was on the show. He did mention void shards being we all knew they were important, but after that episode, I got left with the thought of, I don't have enough void shards. How about you, Kupo?
Oh, I'm feeling the same exact thing. These guys, every time the word void shard comes up in their sentences, it's always like, stack them. You're going to want them. They're bound to your wallet, and they're going to be big things coming with them. So they've actually brought back, when we were talking on one of the past AMAs, that if anybody's ever played the classic Final Fantasy 11 MMORPG, they had these items that were also non-tradable, which you can get in the game by doing certain fights, where they were called Beastman Seals and Kindred Seals. And these items were used to unlock BCNMs, which was called the Burning Circle Notorious Monster, which were special fights which were able to be done in the game by actually collecting these non-tradable items. And that's kind of what we're seeing with these void shards. There is a potential that we're going to be getting ourselves these big battles to boss monsters, special fights which are going to be contributed to collecting these shards. And that can bring in really rare loot, that can bring in possibly achievements or other great concepts down the line. But we're going to want to continue to stack up these void shards. Don't take them thinking that they're useless. Once we blow through our initial stack, we're going to wish we collected more of them. Not financial advice, but don't give up on those void shards, because I feel personally they're going to have one of the better mechanics that we're going to be introduced in DFK until we start getting bigger, more worldly content, such as like dungeons and other world battles. So those void shards, don't be sleeping on them. That's what we're building up towards with these void hunts right now.
And it's a very interesting mechanic the way they're built out, right? They are soul bound. And when I think of soul bound things, you mentioned several good examples of how that ends up playing, sort of based on some of your Final Fantasy experience. I think of it from the perspective of it's a way for the team to reward those tried and true sort of DFK supporters and backers who were there when things weren't so hot. When times are bad, we were here, and you're here now, and you're stacking them. It almost feels like we will be rewarded in a positive. What that reward looks like, to be known. But there is a reward coming, and we're gonna benefit the most by having a leg up versus new players.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we want to make sure we're not sleeping on these things. So void shards, like you may mention, they're soul bound to the wallet. They're one of the very few things that they're going to be introducing into the game in the early stages, which are soul bound. Even the lore pages that were initially supposed to be soul bound, they decided no thank you, but they are very strict about that. So those that put in the work, that put in the effort, are going to be able to get themselves the opportunity to move forward with the game mechanics. No amount of money that you're going to throw at somebody is going to get you those void shards right now. You got to earn them yourself. So it's definitely something that we got to look into for the future. While everything's still in the low right now within this bearish market, we want to make sure that we have our opportunity to get as many of these resources as we can, whether it be crafting materials, void shards, or other things that we can basically prepare ourselves. So when more content comes out in DFK, we're going to be ready for it, no matter whether we're in the bear or the bull market.
Let me ask you a question. Let's get reckless here.
That's my favorite type of speculation.
Do you think this matters or not? You have let's say you have 100 heroes. Let's split them in, between two wallets. Yes, the void shards are soul bound. Do you think it makes a difference, or do we know whether or not it makes a difference to have those split between two accounts? And maybe, you play one set one way, and then, different account a different way. I don't know that they would reward things that way, but, any thought there, Kupo?
I mean, honestly, we're still early. It's all wild speculations. Like you said, you might be able to get like 20 void shards on one wallet, 100 on the next one, but it might cost you 10 void shards to do like one battle. So it's like, do I want to try to get as many of them on the one wallet? Do I have a off balance? Do I have the right heroes per the wallet? So you can go either way with that comment, honestly. And who knows, this might also be one of our first co-op type of gameplays also, where you might actually get like multiple people in there, and you really want to be like, oh, hold on, I got to move everything over to wallet C or D because that's where I have my void shards. But again, this is all wild speculations, like you said, and it all could be on one wallet, could be split amongst the wallets. I think the key right now is just to mass accumulate these things, because you don't know what's going to happen, but you want to be ready for when it does happen.
So then let's maybe address this point as well, sort of tangential to our void shard conversation. The other thing I was made very clear to me, equipment, it's important, and you also don't have enough equipment. Thoughts there, Kupo?
Yeah, so we kind of got a little bit out of Winston when we were talking about the potential future equipment rental system that they once teased us with before. With these rock box coming in starting at the level 12, and they're saying that you're going to want equipment. Now, I've done a couple hundred of these fights, and I've only found like meager amounts of equipment so far. And
Whoa,
I
whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold the horses. You've got mythic pants. I mean,
all right, I got one of those, but only one pair of pants, okay? Only one pair of pants. But I'm just saying, like, when you're trying to equip your heroes with your swords, your bows, your staffs, you're not going to be able to equip all the teams. I personally run about 6 to 10 of these things at a time, and I definitely don't have enough equipment to probably go even further past, like, 2 teams if I really want to. And that's with me playing these things, like on a hardcore basis, like daily. There's going to be opportunities out there where the team can fill in these gaps, possibly with a rental system with gear, or like we said, we got these potions that are going to help off balance some of the weight that we might get when it comes to the burden, whether it's blind, fear, or other type of debuff mechanics that we're going to be experiencing, speed down, and other things that we can look forward to in the future. But gear is going to be very important to us, whether we're going to be continuing to supply our own gear level, or if we can rent out stuff, or what other possibilities down the line, crafting, that we might be able to fill in with the different void hunts that we're going to be doing in the future, as far as like getting our heroes ready to be on the battlefield.
And the way the picture's being painted, Kupo, it's a beautiful picture. It's a purposeful picture. Now I see the vision. Now I get it. Claiming your legacy. Here we had a conversation as a community, and maybe we had too many heroes. Now I feel I have, I think, close to 200. I feel like I'm naked. I need more. I don't have enough. And you know, in the way they've developed the game, it's like you called it right. You've done so many hunts, and you've gotten not you know, sort of your ROI as far as equipment received. Like, you know, it's not there, and it's purposeful because they want to make these valuable. They want to make them rare. You know, drop rates I think are what, 10%,
Mm-hmm.
1% I think for equipment.
It's 1% for the equipment, 10% for like specialty items, and most of that's just like, you know, it might as well be a Vizzy at this point until like enhancements come out.
But to your point, right? We're gonna need those crafters. We're gonna need these fighters. And one hero may not be able to fill both roles. That, you know, you may have, you know, a handful. I mean, you know, maybe you have that perfect paladin who's a great fighter and a
Mm-hmm.
great crafter. But in all likelihood, you're gonna need 2 separate camps of heroes. I don't have enough. Do you have enough, Kupo? Do you feel good?
No, definitely not. I feel I'm not quite there yet myself, and I've got myself a good couple hundred heroes also. I've got them divided between my primary fighters, my crafters, my gatherers, but some of them are a little mix of both. But I got a lot of like mostly like rares and uncommon, so I don't even have like those like super like mythics, or I don't have the resurrection ability. I think I got like one giant slayer hero. So no, I am far from ready for like, as far as like the battlefield goes and just getting my heroes prepped. But we got to keep building up our heroes whatever way we want to, whether you want them to be fighters, crafters, gatherers, a little bit of everything. We got so much that we can anticipate with DFK, with the new material coming out. We can only do and just hope that we're taking it in the right direction.
Maybe we end on this note. The other exciting piece that came out of that conversation, you know, we're talking equipment, you know, 2-handed equipment. You know, he dropped that teaser, and I saw Maddie salivate. I saw Wowie salivating, and his camera wasn't on. You know, it was exciting to think, you know, 2-handed weapon. What does that look like for you? What do you envision? What do you want it to be?
Yeah, I would love to see a 2-handed weapon. Something like maybe like a claymore or a greatsword would be beautiful to see in there personally. It could be a battle axe for all we know, if they decide to throw in like maybe the berserker as like their their new class that they're introducing. But I'm leaning towards sword. Got to be a sword. I want that sword out there. I want to see what we got going on, and that also kind of like throws in some theories. Also, if they're going to be throwing in like a 2-handed weapon, is that going to be going towards the warrior, or maybe that's another hint for a potential class that they're going, or classes they might be revealing later on when these future mechanics come out also. But what's your take? What do you think? What's it going to be? They already said it. I think they said it wasn't going to be a staff, but what's your thought?
maybe not a staff, but first thing that comes to mind, and maybe this is me sort of throwing a curveball at you. Two-handed equipment. So you have, let's say, a sphere for a mage type character.
Ooh.
And your second slot would be it'd be reserved because you would need something to attune to make said sphere work for your hero. Yeah, I don't know how the mechanics would work on that, but they work in my head.
Sort of like how the summoner, the original design, had the spear that they're like levitating in front of them.
Yes.
I would love to see that as a weapon for a summoner. Also, I mean, they got the little staff now with their new clothes, but yeah, bring back the spear design. We got potential to really bank on the fantasy of what DFK has to offer.
Right. Now, sort of, lots of room for imagination there. You, the audience, I want to hear, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What weapon, is the team developing? What item is the team developing? How hyped are you on everything you've heard? There's so much to digest. Not enough time. Leave a comment below. And as always, let us know what your maybe would want to see us cover or have discussed. One more note, I no obligation by any means. I do have my my donate link below, but I'm not calling this out to call that out. I wanted to call out the fact that I've also put Kupo's donate link below for these videos and some of the past videos as well. Feel free to drop him some love. It's there for you. I'll leave it there for now. We'll come back. We'll revisit some of these topics. Until then, Sarge out.
Take care, everyone.